I've been using rubber stamps for quite some time now, and what I like about them is there are so many different companies that make them. You simply send them an image in black and white and they can convert it into a stamp. I have two different ones. I have a long thin one, which is the one I normally use on my headstock, and a more square one which I use for other pieces of the guitar, and sometimes I stamp them in fact on the boxes of the guitars when I send them out. Now this is my ink pad, which I haven't used for a while, so I'm just putting the ink on it fresh, and that involves putting it on in different directions and really rubbing it in. I prefer this stays on ink. It sticks to lots of different surfaces, but you can buy lots of different makes and different colours. Basically each time I use it though, I do a couple of tests on a bit of paper. Sometimes you can get more than one print out with a stamp. Sometimes the first print's too dark, but normally I find if the ink's nice on the pad, then each time you engage the stamp on the pad, you get just the right amount of ink for your print. So always once I've got my guitar lined up, I do a quick test again on a bit of paper. This is on a bass, a Stratocaster bass. I've got the neck resting on a cord to stop it wobbling, but that means the headstock isn't really resting on anything. So I line up my print and I hold it in place instead of just pushing it down with the block on the back. Now most stamps have the image printed on the back of the stamp so you can see how it's lined up. Then once I've finished, you really got to look after your stamps. So with the StazOn cleaner, same company that make the ink, I give the stamp a quick brush over to remove the ink, and then I pad that down and wipe it down. Sometimes it takes 2 attempts to do it, and you've got to be careful really not to use tissue paper that's too thin that might come off when you're blotting away the ink like this. Anyway, do let me know in the comments below if you use stamps in any way and what you use them for in your guitars. Maybe let us know what different colours, inks you use and makes of ink you use. That's really helpful for other YouTubers. So anyone that's reading the comments can get some other suggestions beyond what I'm suggesting in this video. So why don't you go and do that as well? And while you're there, like and subscribe. Now I also use these stamps all the time to put my serial numbers on the guitars. They're basically a series of letters and numbers that pull apart and you can rearrange them in any order. And what I like about them is they really have a stamp look to the font. So again, I always do a test, and I like the little edges coming out on this for each number to add to that stamp look. And this is the location I put them on most of my guitars. Great, well I hope you found that useful. This is actually the guitar that was in the video, the Stratocaster with the smashed mirror on it. What I've done now is put a layer of varnish over the top, sealed it, put the tuners on and stuff, all ready to go. Maybe needs a tune. So there are actually other methods you can use to apply headstocks to your logos, and next weekend I've got another video coming out looking at the method where we use decals to put them on. I'm going to talk about decals on the headstocks and decals on other parts of the guitar. So stay tuned for that. Until next time, happy strumming.